The small alien scout ship, Varnock's Eye, floated silently in the edge of a dead star system. Its crew of 5 was from the Takari species, tall, blue-skinned beings known for their curiosity and technology. Their scanners had picked up something strange. An old human warship drifting near a broken moon, cold and without power. It didn't match any known Earth fleet design. The hull was black, smooth, with no markings. It looked abandoned. Commander Reth, the ship's captain, stood over. "The sensor panel. Scan it," he ordered calmly. "If it's human tech, we need to know what it is." His science officer hesitated. "Sir, the energy readings are strange. It's not active, but something about it feels wrong." "That's just old human junk," Reth said with a smirk. "They're dramatic creatures, always adding extra armor and dark paint to look scary. Scan it now." The officer nodded and began the scan. A soft hum filled the room as the Takari scanners reached out across the void. At first, nothing happened. Then, the lights flickered. One of the consoles sparked. The screen that showed the human ship went black, then turned red. Words appeared on it in an old Earth language, slowly translating, "Do not look into the dark." Before they could react, the ship shook violently. Alarms screamed. The science officer fell from his chair, grabbing his head in pain. The pilot yelled, "Systems failing! Engines offline! I can't!" Then his voice cut off, and he collapsed. Commander Reth tried to move, but his limbs felt heavy, cold. The air inside the ship changed. It smelled of rust and smoke. The red lights pulsed like a heartbeat. And on every screen, one word blinked: "Run!" Only one crew member, a young technician named Cyril, managed to crawl toward the escape pod. Her eyes were wide with fear, her thoughts frozen with panic. She didn't know what had happened. She only knew the ship was dying, and something had entered it, something that was not alive, but also not dead. As she launched the pod and watched Varnock's Eye vanish in a silent explosion, she saw the human warship turn, just slightly. Its engines didn't light up. It didn't fire. It simply rotated in space, like it was watching her. Cyril sent a warning to the Takari homeworld. Her voice trembled as she spoke. "Do not scan human ships. Do not go near them. That ship, it sees you. It gets inside your systems. Inside your mind. It knows. I don't know what it is, but it's not just a ship. It's something worse." The message spread quickly. Across trade routes and border stations, aliens whispered the same words: "Never scan a human warship." Some laughed at first. They called it superstition, a glitch, or a ghost story. But then more incidents followed. A pirate cruiser tried to board a drifting human vessel. No signal, no power, just floating like space trash. The pirates entered with confidence and vanished without a single message. Their black box was recovered later, floating in a debris cloud. Its final recording? A single sound, hundreds of voices whispering in unison. "You saw too much." Panic spread in the outer sectors. The Galactic Council called a meeting. Many alien leaders demanded Earth explain, but Earth said nothing. The humans gave no answers. They denied sending any warships into forbidden space. A few brave alien commanders thought it was just a trick. One of them, Admiral Charon of the Varn Dominion, launched a fleet of 20 ships to capture the ghost vessel. He said on public broadcast, "No warship, human or not, can stand against the Dominion's finest." Only one ship returned. Its captain was blind and screaming, his mind broken. He spoke no words, just noises and shaking hands. His ship had no damage, no signs of battle. But something had turned off every light inside, drained every drop of power, and left strange symbols etched into the walls. They looked human, but no Earth language expert could read them. The galaxy began to fear what they did not understand, and yet Earth still said nothing. That silence made it worse. What kind of warship could cause madness with a scan? What technology could reach into other ships and shut them down without firing a shot? And why didn't the humans try to stop it? Theories spread like wildfire. Some believed the ship was haunted by the minds of old soldiers. Others said it was an AI experiment gone wrong. A few whispered a darker truth. Maybe the ship wasn't just a weapon, maybe it was alive. In the deepest corners of space, merchants avoided human lanes. Explorers refused missions near Earth-controlled regions. Even the most powerful empires began adding new orders to their space fleets. Never scan a human ship unless you're ready to meet death. And in the shadows of a dead system, the warship waited, silent, watching, ready. Because the next time someone scanned it, it might not be a warning, it might be a response. The galactic science vessel Thalion floated carefully beyond the event zone where the Takari scout ship had vanished. Its crew was different, smarter, more careful, and fully prepared. They had heard the rumors, whispers of a ghost ship, stories of madness and red screens. But to them, those were just tales from frightened pilots and low-level scouts. This crew believed in facts. Captain Yelra, a tall, silver-skinned Elvari, stood at the center of the command deck. She spoke calmly but with purpose. "We're here to study the anomaly, nothing else. We observe, we record, no boarding, no scanning without protection." Her crew nodded. Dozens of scanning drones were already lined up, armed with the latest shielding systems. The engineers had made sure the ship's core would stay stable, even under mental influence or unknown signals. Out in the darkness, the human warship remained, still. It looked like a ruined fortress from a forgotten war. No lights, no movement, just drifting through space like a memory no one wanted to remember. Yelra gave the order. "Deploy drone Alpha. Begin passive scan. Low power." The drone floated gently from the belly of Thalion, its cameras pointed at the human ship. The scan began. Soft pulses bounced off the dark hull. Nothing happened. At first, then the drone stopped. It froze mid-scan, completely silent. Data stopped flowing back to the ship. No signal, no response, just dead air. The crew checked their systems. Everything else worked fine. The ship's energy remained stable. Life support, weapons, communication, all perfect. But the drone was gone, not destroyed, just silent, like it had forgotten how to speak. Then suddenly, a message appeared on the drone channel. No source, no signal, just a voice. It was human, calm, cold. "You've been warned." The bridge went quiet. Nobody moved. Captain Yelra stepped closer to the screen, eyes narrowing. "Run a trace," she ordered. "There's no origin point, Captain," her officer replied. "It's like it came from everywhere." Another message followed. This time, a full sentence. "The ship remembers." Then the transmission ended. Yelra's crew stared at each other. They had never seen anything like this. The message wasn't just a recording. It felt like the warship had spoken directly, like it had noticed them and decided to speak. They pulled the drone back inside. Its body was cold to the touch. When engineers opened it, they found strange marks etched into its inner walls, tiny symbols, moving slightly, like they were alive. One engineer fainted just looking at them. The ship's medical AI scanned the symbols and reported a single word in translation: pain. Captain Yelra made the decision fast. "We leave. Now." She didn't explain to her crew. She didn't need to. That night, her report reached the Galactic Council, the High Command, and several secret science divisions. Her warning was simple. "Do not engage. Do not scan. It is watching." The galaxy began to worry. If this was just a damaged ship, how could it speak through dead channels? How could it mark a drone from the inside without ever touching it? Worse, why did the message say the ship remembers? More and more alien factions began pulling back their research vessels. Scientists argued in dark rooms behind sealed doors. Some believed the warship was infected by an unknown AI virus. Others believed something else, something older had taken control of the ship. Then came another surprise. A private transmission leaked from a hidden archive on Mars. A human commander, long thought dead, was seen speaking on a secure line years ago. Her name was Captain Lin, and her message was chilling. She had said, "If Revenant activates, do not try to control it. Do not try to contact it. It was never meant to be found again." The word Revenant spread like wildfire. Was that the ship's name? A code name? Or something more dangerous? Alien intelligence agencies dug deeper. They found fragments of old human war records, sealed reports about experimental ships designed for psychological warfare. Some used AI. Others were rumored to carry human memories, minds of dead soldiers uploaded into machines. Was the ghost ship one of them? Was it alive? Nobody knew for sure. But more and more ships started avoiding that sector. Star maps were updated. A red circle appeared around the zone. In the center, bold letters said, "Classified, extreme danger." Some explorers ignored the warnings. They never came back. Others claimed they saw the ship from a distance. They said it moved, but only when no one looked. They said it reacted to thought, not action. That just looking at it too long made your ship colder, quieter, emptier. And always, there was the same final message. The ship remembers. The war had ended centuries ago. But the warship didn't know that. It was still fighting, still watching, still waiting. And now, the galaxy had learned one thing for certain. If you scan a human warship, it scans you back. And what it sees inside your mind is something you may never survive. The stars shifted slowly above the frozen moon of Velkar 9. There, hidden deep beneath the ice, a secret listening station watched the galaxy in silence. It was not run by a government or a military. It was run by a private group of ex-intelligence, officers, smugglers, and old war veterans. They called themselves the Black Signal. They didn't care about rules. They didn't fear ghost stories. They tracked strange things, signals, whispers, and ships that didn't match any known design. One night they picked up a pattern, a strange pulse, quiet but steady, repeating across deep space. It wasn't a normal distress call. It was ancient, using frequencies no one had used in hundreds of years. A signal technician named Corin stared at the screen. The pulse had structure, like a heartbeat. But the scary part was the origin point. The signal was coming from the same place every alien feared, the zone where the human ghost ship drifted. Corin called his commander, an old human named Arlen Voss. Arlen had once been part of Earth's secret space force. Now he lived like a ghost himself, gray beard, dark eyes, and hands that never stopped shaking. When he saw the signal, he went pale. "Is this real?" Corin asked. Arlen didn't answer at first. Then he said softly, "This ship, it wasn't supposed to survive." He pulled out an old data pad from a locked crate. On it was a file marked Project Revenant, Eyes Only. The younger staff gathered around as Arlen began to explain. Decades ago, during Earth's darkest war, the humans had faced total extinction. Their enemies were cruel and used terrifying weapons, tools that attacked the mind, not just the body. So Earth responded with something worse. They created the Revenant program. It wasn't just a ship. It was a machine made from pain, anger, and memory. Human minds, soldiers who had died in battle, were uploaded into the ship's core. Their last thoughts, their rage, their fear, it all became part of the vessel. The ship didn't have an AI. It had souls. Revenant was designed for one mission: destroy anything that got close. Not with guns alone, but with fear, madness, and psychological collapse. The ship didn't just fight, it hunted. But after the war ended, the humans grew, afraid of what they had made. They sent Revenant into deep space and erased all records of it. Only a few people remembered. Arlen was one of them. They hoped no one would ever find it, Arlen said. They hoped it would shut down, sleep forever, but it didn't. The younger agents were silent. One finally asked, "So what do we do now?" Arlen looked up slowly. "We stop anyone else from going near it. If that ship wakes up fully, the galaxy won't be ready." But it was already too late. Somewhere in the Drakkar system, a powerful alien empire, the Zarnathi Combine, had picked up the same signal. They believed it was a weakness, a broken machine. They had no fear of ghost stories. Their war fleet was massive and proud. To them, a single ship was nothing. They sent a cruiser to investigate. The Zarnathi ship was strong. Shields like stone, weapons sharp as fire. It approached the ghost warship carefully, but without fear. Then the human ship moved. No engines, no heat. It just shifted, like a shadow across space. The Zarnathi captain laughed. "Let it come! We are not afraid!" They scanned the ship. The response was immediate. Every system on the Zarnathi cruiser shut down. Lights died. Gravity vanished. The crew floated helplessly. Then the screams began. Each crew member saw something different. One saw his homeworld, burning. Another saw her own face melting in the mirror. A third saw nothing, just endless darkness whispering his name. The captain tried to speak, tried to call for help, but his mouth filled with ash. The final message that reached the Zarnathi homeworld was a garbled recording, a voice, twisted and angry, speaking one word again and again. "Remember." The Zarnathi Combine pulled back its fleets. The Empire declared the area cursed and forbidden. They even sent diplomats to Earth demanding answers, but Earth gave them the same reply. "We do not know of any active vessels in that region." A lie, but one told for a reason, because Earth knew the truth. Revenant had survived, and it was no longer sleeping. In fact, it had started choosing its targets. The galaxy was changing. Peace was growing thin. Old alliances were cracking. And, in the shadows of space, something ancient and human had begun to move again. Not for war, not for revenge, but for purpose. And no one knew what that purpose was, except Revenant, and it wasn't talking. The Galactic Council held an emergency session. Representatives from over 50 star systems gathered in a great dome on the orbital station Argent Prime. The room buzzed with tension. The Zarnathi Combine had just lost an entire cruiser. Their fleet refused to explain what really happened, but everyone had heard the rumors. A single ship, no energy, no movement, just a ghost. And still, complete destruction. High Chancellor. Vurex, a tall insectoid from the Quarren species, raised a clawed hand to silence the crowd. "We are gathered here not for fear," he said, "but for facts. A human ship of unknown power has been detected. It has shown signs of aggression, but Earth denies knowledge. We must now decide. Do we act or watch?" The room murmured. Admiral Rekon of the Varn Empire stood. His skin was made of dark stone, and his voice boomed like thunder. "We have the most powerful fleets in this sector. We will destroy this relic before it becomes a threat." The Elvari ambassador rose in protest. "You have not seen what it can do. Your weapons will not save you. This ship fights in the mind." "Fairies your tails," Rekon snapped. Then the human ambassador spoke. Her name was Ambassador Ellis, calm, sharp-eyed, and quiet until now. "You are all looking at this the wrong way," she said. "You assume this is a weapon gone rogue, but it is not rogue. It is doing exactly what it was made to do." The room went silent. She continued. Revenant was not built to win wars. It was built to make sure no one would ever fight us again. It doesn't destroy fleets, it destroys willpower, and once it wakes up fully, you won't be able to stop it with missiles or threats. You'll be too afraid to even look at it. Chancellor Vurex narrowed his eyes. Are you saying this? Ship is alive? Ellis nodded. In a way. It remembers. It chooses. And worst of all, it learns. But the Council didn't want fear. They wanted control. So they voted. 27 systems voted to observe, 19 voted to study, and 5, including the Varn Empire, voted to neutralize. Despite warnings, a task force was assembled. 3 battle cruisers, 1 science vessel, and a stealth drone fleet were sent toward the zone. They called the mission Operation Iron Veil. The task force moved fast, confident in its strength. They didn't enter the red zone immediately. Instead, they surrounded it. Their plan was simple: map the ghost ship, block its movement, and contain it. But the Revenant had already moved. When the cruisers arrived, the ship was gone. Only silence remained. The science vessel sent out scanning waves, soft at first, then stronger. Suddenly all sensors went black. On board the lead cruiser, alarms blared. Crew members reported static in their heads. Visions. Dreams of falling, memories that didn't belong to them. The ship's AI froze, then began repeating the same line. Unit compromised. Memories overwritten. Unit compromised. Memories, and then silence. The drone fleet tried to retreat, but one by one their systems failed. Not from damage, but from doubt. Their AIs began to hesitate, unsure if they were real or just copies of broken code. The Revenant didn't fire a shot. It just appeared, right in the middle of the fleet. No one saw it move. One moment it wasn't there. The next, it was everywhere. Every ship's camera showed a different shape. Some saw a human ship covered in bones. Others saw burning faces etched into metal. One pilot swore it looked like his own warship. Copied, exactly, but with his name scratched out. Crew members screamed. Some clawed at their own eyes. One captain opened the airlock himself, saying, "I hear them. They're still fighting." Only one message escaped before everything went dark. It remembers who heard it. Back at the council, chaos erupted. Ambassador Ellis stood before the assembly again, this time not with warnings, but a choice. You can keep sending ships, keep pretending you're in control, or you can leave it alone. Why? Chancellor Vurex asked. Why protect it? Ellis looked around the room. Her voice turned cold. Because it protects us. The room fell silent again. No one knew what that meant. Not really. But a few old warriors in the chamber understood. Revenant wasn't just a weapon. It was a message. A message sent into deep space long ago by a wounded humanity, a warning that still echoed, never again. The Varn Empire pulled back their fleets. Their generals refused to speak about the losses. Their people demanded answers, but none came. The rest of the galaxy grew quiet. The red zone around the Revenant was expanded. No-fly zones were created. Patrol routes were changed. And Earth? Earth said nothing. They just watched, because they knew. The ship had chosen, and soon it would move again. The Revenant was moving again, not fast, not with engines. It just appeared in new places, places with meaning, places connected to old battles from Earth's forgotten wars. First, it appeared near the shattered moon of Torga 6, where Earth's first fleet was ambushed 2 centuries ago. Then, near the ruins of the Hallan Refuge, where humans had once been denied shelter during a plague. Everywhere it went, systems shut down. Power flickered. Ships drifted into silence. No shots, no explosions. Just fear and something else. Whispers. Captains reported hearing voices over comms. old Earth languages, human cries, military commands from wars no longer in history records. One pilot even heard his own name, spoken by someone who had died. Years ago, the galaxy was afraid, but Earth stayed silent. They didn't send ships. They didn't explain. They only watched. That silence was more terrifying than any fleet. Far from the red zone, in a secret underground base on Mars, Earth's top minds were meeting in panic. Dr. Lena Cross, a specialist in neural warfare, slammed, her fist on the table. "This thing wasn't supposed to last this long." "It didn't," said General Roque. "We buried it, deep." But it woke up. A young technician showed new data. It's not just remembering old battles now, it's reacting to present threats. It's evolving. "How?" someone asked. Lena swallowed. "Because it was made from us." She pointed to a screen showing a twisted neural map. "This isn't AI," she said. "This is human pain locked in code. Each time it moves, it's reliving what was done to us. It's trying to finish something we started and forgot." Someone whispered, "It's not a ship anymore." Roque nodded. "It's an echo of Earth's rage." In the galaxy, the whispers spread. Some called the Revenant a ghost. Others called it a god. But the most dangerous ones called it hope. A small group of rebels, humans and aliens alike, believed Revenant was a sign. That Earth still had the power to destroy any empire if it chose to. They began spreading messages in secret. "Do not fear the ghost. Follow it. It remembers." Governments panicked. Some arrested anyone caught speaking the words. Others tried to block human broadcasts. But it was too late. The galaxy had seen something terrifying. The one species no one had taken seriously anymore still had power, and now their past was drifting through space like a warning. Revenant visited another site, an old battlefield, on the edge of the Pelan Rift. But this time, something strange happened. A small civilian ship drifted too close. It belonged to a Polari trader family with no weapons. The family panicked when the ghost ship appeared. They couldn't run. Their engines failed. They prepared for death, but it didn't come. Instead, their cameras caught something shocking. The ghost ship hovered silently. Then, it played something, a song, old Earth music, soft, sad, filled with longing, a lullaby. Chetty, trader's child, barely 5 years old, said, "The ship is crying." The footage went viral across the outer colonies, and for the first time, people stopped fearing the ghost. They started feeling for it. Dr. Lena Cross saw the video. She broke down in tears. "It's trying to speak," she whispered. "It's more than memory. It's feeling." But not everyone saw it as a message. Some saw weakness. The Zarnathi Combine, angry at their earlier defeat, began building a new weapon, one not of metal, but of thought. A psychic spear, meant to pierce the mind of the Revenant and erase it forever. They called it Project Clean Sky, a weapon made not to destroy the body, but the soul. When Earth's spies learned of it, panic returned. Lena Cross met secretly with Earth's president. "If they fire that weapon," she said, "they won't just kill the Revenant. They'll erase something sacred. They'll destroy our history." The president asked, "Then what do you suggest?" Lena looked him in the eye. "We talked to it." The room went still. No one had dared try. No one even knew if it would listen. But Earth had no choice. They prepared a small ship, no weapons, no shields, just a message, carried by someone who knew the Revenant better than anyone, Lena Cross. She had once worked on the program. She had helped design the neural interface. She knew some of the minds inside. And now, she would speak to them. As she boarded the ship, the galaxy watched. Would she reach the ghost, or vanish like all the others? The vessel launched. It drifted toward the red zone. toward the shadows, toward the ship that should not exist, toward Earth's forgotten fury. And in the silence of space, something stirred. The Revenant was waiting, not to kill, not to run, but to listen. Lena Cross sat alone in the small ship, staring into the darkness ahead, nothing but stars, and something hidden between them. The Revenant. Her heart pounded, but she stayed calm. This wasn't just a mission. This was personal. She had helped build the early parts of Revenant's mind, long before it became what it was now. She had seen the test subjects, the pain, the sacrifice. She had buried the memories, but the ship hadn't. And now, it remembered everything. As she crossed into the red zone, her systems flickered. Lights dimmed, temperature dropped. The ship creaked like it was afraid. Then a voice, not through speakers, in her head. "Lena?" She gasped. It wasn't robotic. It was human. Familiar. "I'm here," she said aloud, even though she wasn't sure the ship could hear. A shadow passed over her window. Then another. Her vessel slowed, on its own. No engines, no thrusters. It was being guided. And then, in front of her, it appeared. The Revenant. Massive. Silent. Wrong. Its shape was twisted. Parts of it looked like old human ships. Others like alien designs. Some sections were scorched, as if from battles long forgotten. But the strangest thing, it pulsed like it was alive, as if it had a heartbeat. Her ship docked without touching. A light blinked on her console. One word. Enter. She stepped out. The air inside the Revenant was breathable, but cold. The walls weren't metal, not completely. They felt soft, like memory. Screens flickered with old Earth footage. Soldiers hugging families, cities, burning, humans boarding escape ships, looking back with hate in their eyes, and voices echoed, crying, screaming, laughing, all at once. She followed the corridor. No signs, no path. Just instinct, and then she reached it, the core. A round room, empty except for one thing. A chair. She sat. Suddenly everything changed. The walls melted into stars. She wasn't in a ship anymore. She was standing in a battlefield. Alone. A voice spoke behind her. "You left us." She turned and saw him, Dr. Eli Varen, her partner from the Revenant Project, dead for over 50 years. "You're not real," she whispered. "Real enough," he said. "You built us, Lena. Then you buried us." She backed away. "We didn't know it would become this." He nodded slowly. "But we did. That's why we stayed. That's why we became something else." More figures appeared. Men, women, children, soldiers, civilians. All faces she knew, all long gone. They surrounded her. "You put us inside the code," said one. "Our pain, our rage. You made us part of the weapon. You made us remember." Lena fell to her knees. "I'm sorry." A silence followed. Then Varen stepped closer, his voice softer. "Why are you here?" She looked up. "To ask you to stop." He tilted his head. "Stop what?" "Stop the fear, the attacks, the whispers. The galaxy is panicking. They're building something to destroy you." Varen looked around at the others, then back at her. "We don't want war, Lena. We just want them to know." "Know what? That they hurt us? That they left us to die? That they smiled while Earth burned? And that we remember?" Lena nodded slowly. "They know now." "Do they?" he asked. "Do they feel it?" She took a breath. "No, not yet. But if you give us time, if you stop, we can make them listen. We can tell the truth." He stared at her. Then the battlefield faded. The walls returned. She was back in the core. Alone. The Revenant was silent. Then her console lit up with a new message. One chance. Her ship was released. Gently. It drifted away from the ghost ship, back to open space, back to Earth. The galaxy watched as Lena's ship returned, and she brought the message. The Revenant would stop, for now, but only if the galaxy listened, only if the truth was told, and Earth finally spoke. A broadcast went out from the President of Earth. Across all known space, they told the story of Revenant. The betrayals, the exile, the human mind sacrificed to stop future wars. The ship built not just to fight, but to make sure humanity would never be forgotten again. The galaxy was silent. Some were angry, some were ashamed, but most were afraid. Because now they understood. The Revenant wasn't just a weapon. It was a graveyard of memory, and it was watching, waiting. The Revenant vanished again. No one saw it leave. No one tracked its jump. One moment it was there, watching the galaxy like a silent judge, and the next, gone. But it had left a mark. Every major power in the galaxy now had a file named Project Revenant on their war room walls. Some feared it. Some studied it. A few tried to find it again, but most just prayed it never returned. Earth didn't speak further. Lena Cross disappeared from public view. Rumors said she was moved to a hidden facility placed under protection. Others whispered she was now part of the Revenant itself. No one knew for sure. The Zarnathi Combine canceled their psychic weapon. Quietly. They claimed it wasn't needed anymore. But every spy in the galaxy knew they had tried to launch it, and something had stopped it. The weapons crew had gone insane the moment it activated, screaming, bleeding from their eyes, begging for forgiveness. The Revenant had answered without firing a shot. Word spread. In distant systems, people started leaving small offerings in space, lights, music, messages in old Earth languages, to the ghost, to the memory, to the pain that guards us. One rebel group even painted a massive mural across the side of a derelict station, a human figure wrapped in starlight, shielding children, alien and human alike, from fire. They named it the Guardian That Bleeds. But not everyone believed in the peace. The Krylok warhouses sent a fleet toward the Red Zone. 10 destroyers, 2 carriers, and 1 psychic cruiser. They wanted to prove humans were weak, that the Revenant was a bluff. They were never heard from again. A week later, a single escape pod was found, drifting near a mining moon. The soldier inside was alive, but changed. His hair had turned white. His eyes never blinked. He only said, one sentence before falling silent forever. We saw the storm. It was weeping. Governments grew quiet. Even pirate fleets stopped raiding Earth-aligned colonies. The galaxy understood something now. It wasn't that humanity had made the Revenant, it was that humanity had become it. Every injustice, every betrayal, every exile, stored, remembered, given form, and now it floated somewhere out there, watching, not with anger, but with warning. Do not hurt humanity again. Do not forget what was done. One wrong move, and the ghost would return. But here was the twist no one expected. Humans didn't fear the Revenant. They loved it. To Earth's people, the ship wasn't a monster. It was family. It was proof that no matter how far they had fallen, their pain had meaning. Their struggle had weight. It was their voice. And even now, it was still protecting them. Years passed. Revenant was seen again, only in brief flashes. A flicker near, a dying sun, a shadow beside a pirate ambush, a hum in the minds of those who meant harm to Earth. But no longer did it attack. It simply warned. And each time it appeared, the attackers fled. Children on Earth began learning about it in school. They sang songs, Ghost of Stars, silent and proud, speaks no words, but cries out loud, born of pain, shaped by flame, forever watching without name. One day, a small girl on a colony world sent a message into deep space. It said, "Are you lonely?" Weeks later, her family's sensors picked up a faint signal, a heartbeat, a soft human lullaby, no words, just music. The ghost had answered. And so the galaxy changed. No longer because of war, but because of memory. The Revenant had done what no fleet ever could. It had made the galaxy remember humanity, not as weak exiles, but as survivors, as creators of something powerful, something eternal, not a ship, a warning, a promise. And somewhere, in the dark between stars, the Revenant still drifted. It didn't seek revenge. It didn't need to, because its very presence was enough. A ghost, a guardian, weapon shaped by sorrow, and the galaxy would never forget again.